Hello and welcome to the River and Panhandle's weekly podcast. We are so excited that you are tuning in for this week's message. Before we get started, there are a few things that we would love for you to do. Share it, subscribe, and rate the podcast. So the message is about to begin. We hope that you are encouraged and that you always remember, no role is insignificant. Every life matters, and go out and make a difference.
So Psalm 23 is one of our very favorites, right? It's traditionally this funeral psalm. It's a comfort psalm. When chaplains go into hospital rooms, they will often preach or pray or speak or just share this psalm over people. We pray it a lot. We believe that most of it, at least, is true. And this morning, we are going to walk through. It's only 6 verses. It's only 6 verses, but it's so powerful and so profound. And I can't wait for us to dive into this. It's also attributed, as many of you know, to David, who had walked through this abundance of not just victory and like overcoming kind of stuff, but also having been a shepherd literally in his life. He has experienced full nature, fully the character of God on display as he led his own sheep. He was reminded of what God does for us, the shepherd. So let's dive into Psalm 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Everything begins with the Lord. Everything starts there. Provision, protection, safety, comfort, green grass, still waters. It all starts with the Lord. Everything comes from him, everything is through him, and everything is for him. We'll get into that more in just a minute. But it all starts right here with the Lord. And David's confidence is rooted in that. His confidence is rooted in God's character. A shepherd's responsibilities are many: leading, protecting, guiding, singing to, but also, this is really important, staying with the sheep is an important job, a role of the shepherd. The Lord is not my cowboy, right? Horses, cattle, they graze and they herd, right? And they don't need constant supervision. The Lord is my shepherd means he stays with me. Is that not good news? The Lord is my shepherd. He's not a shepherd. He's the shepherd. This is deeply personal, right? Why? Because whatever leads you, whatever shepherds you, that's where you're going to end up. So whatever it is you're following in your life, if it's your career, if it's your success, if it's others' approval, what's this? If it's your anxiety, your depression, your circumstances that guide your life. Every conversation tends to be about that because I feel the weight of these things. Whatever shepherds you is where you're going to end up. So if I'm focused on all those kinds of things, I'm going to end up in those kinds of places. Does that make sense? Culture says your career, your success, your approval, your anxiety. But David says, the Lord is my shepherd. And what happens? I shall not want. It's easy to think that this means if I follow the Lord, I trust the Lord. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the eyes of the Lord. He will give you the desires of your what? Heart. It's easy to think that if I just am good with God, then he'll give me what I need. Prosperity gospel. It's a lie. God not only gives good things, God gives hard things. Why? Because he's using every bit of it to refine us and make us more like him. Why? Because he wants us following him. What did he do? He came to earth and he suffered and bled and he died, and he invites us into that. If anybody wants to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross and follow me. You see that? So we take the good with the hard. So the question is, do you trust that he provides everything you need? Do you trust him? Do you trust God? With all the things in your life, do you trust him? Not only do you trust him for your need, do you trust him with your heart, with your life, with your mind? That's the real question that we're exploring. So he doesn't make us lay things down. Did you catch that? God doesn't make us lay things down. He asks us to. He doesn't make us lay things down. But you know what he does? Verse 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. So sheep don't typically lay down unless they feel safe. They're not hungry. They're not thirsty. They're not confused. Sheep don't lay down when their life seems to be falling apart. Sheep don't lay down until the mortgage gets paid off. Sheep don't lay down when there's things that attack our family. Sheep, us, we don't lay down until our in-laws are normal again. Until our wife's attitude is better. Until our kids find Jesus. Until that sin in my life gets satisfied. You with me? Sheep don't lay down unless they feel safe. And so when he makes us lie down, it's because he is a loving God and his nature is for us to experience his peace, not our peace. You see the difference there? Green pastures speaks of nourishment. Also comfort. There's nothing better than lying in a cool green grass yard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's just something satisfying about that. But it really isn't about comfort, it's about nourishment. That's what the green pasture is about. And he leads me beside still waters, and that still water literally refers to restful water. Sheep are afraid of running water. They're afraid of moving water, but the shepherd leads us where we can safely drink. Watch this. It's not just to a place where everything is calm. It's to a place where he is. He leads us to still waters. Not that all our circumstances are okay, but his presence is with us. We're going to get more into that in just a minute. And so he gives us permission in the green pasture, the still water. God gives us permission to stop. Stop! All that stuff you're nervous and worried about, all the things you're trying to figure out on your own, all the plans you're trying to make for your life, the thing you want to do and experience, God says, stop. I'm going to be with you no matter what. I'm going to be your shepherd. I'm going to get you there. My little boy has learned a new phrase. And it was so fun when it was I love you. It was so fun when it was daddy or mama, right? Or even knack, knack, or please. All those are so cute and fun. But he has apparently all of a sudden heard us talk to our dogs. maybe each other. And he now says, "Top it. Top it. Stop it. Stop it." At first, it was really hard to understand, but now it's very clearly, "Top it." I don't know where that comes from, but there is something so holy about this. Stop. Just stop. And we're learning from him. We're learning from each other, but more importantly, we're learning from the goodness and the character of God that makes us sometimes just stop. Stop worrying. Stop being afraid. Stop doubting. Just stop. God has so much more for us than we want for ourselves. He wants us to stop. So, verse 3, he restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Restore means to bring back or to find what was lost. He restores my soul. Sheep stray. Am I right? Sheep stray. It just happens. And shepherds patiently retrieve them when they stray. We know today how to recharge a phone. Plug it in, go to bed. And so our phone is recharging, watch this, while our brain, our heart is operating on 2%. And we forget about our souls being restored. We don't really think about that very often. We think about recharging a lot, but we don't think often about restoring our lives. Vacations don't restore. Better circumstances don't restore. Only the Good Shepherd can restore us. He's the only one who can. He leads us in paths of righteousness. Paths of righteousness or right paths. And it's so beautiful, profound, connected tissue here that right paths have a way of restoring our souls. When we find the right way, God's plan, there's something special about that restores our soul. Shepherds know which trails lead to the nourishment, to the stillness, to the safety. In 2005, I took a trip to Israel, and I got to be on one of those tours, where they take you to all the different sites. And the last day, our group was going to go to the Via Dolorosa, which the road that Christ carried the cross, and there it's now an Arab bazaar, like a marketplace. And so I wasn't really interested in that. So what did I do? I got on a bus and I rode out to the desert against the wishes of our guide. And I got off the bus and I hiked out into the desert by myself. In a strange, hostile land, because I wanted to just experience what it was like for Jesus. He did it for 40 days. I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. He did it for 40 days. I wanted to go out for just one day and just see what it felt like in that moment. And as I was out there, something incredible happened. The Bedouin shepherds are with their flocks in these hills. And at first I couldn't see them, but I heard them. I heard the shepherds singing to their sheep in these hills. No idea where they were until I did. And they wandered through the valley kind of below where I was sitting, and I watched these shepherds just walk, and all of these sheep just follow suit, just going where the shepherd was going. He's still singing, they're still following, and it was a beautiful picture, a reminder of what this looks like. He leads me in paths of righteousness, not for my sake, but for his sake. For his name's sake, he does all of this for me. Why? Because Colossians 1:16 says that everything was created through him and for him because he is Jesus, he is God, and he is good enough. And he just wants me to listen to his voice, to be restored, to be in presence with him for his name's sake. It's so good. Even when we don't trust or understand his direction, we can still trust his heart. He's good to us. God's faithfulness reflects his character. And watch this. God always has not only his best in mind, he has your best in mind. God knows what's better for you, better than you know what's good for you. That's his character. That's his nature. He knows all things. So, verse 4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Do you see that? Not into the valley, through the valley. Through the valley matters because valleys are inevitable. God's not guiding us into the valley. Valleys are inevitable. God sees us through the valleys. What do valleys look like? It's not just the hardest parts of life. It is, those are valleys. But it's things like fear, doubt, and worry, jealousy, anger, bitterness. All of those things become valleys to us. And God says, when you walk through those things, I'm going to be right there with you. I'm going to see you through all of this. The promise isn't the absence of valleys. The promise is the presence of the shepherd in the valley with us. He says, I will fear no evil. I will fear no evil. Why? Because he is with you. I don't know if you picked up on this, but notice the pronoun change. So in the first 3 verses, David is talking about God. And now he's talking to God. You are with me. I think this is important because pain does one of 2 things. Pain either drives us closer to the heart of God or it pushes us away. There's not really a middle ground here. If I'm in middle ground, then I'm not going toward God. Pain moves me closer to him or it moves me away. Either way, there's not a condition to God's promise. He says, I will be with you. That's why we can fear no evil. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. What a powerful phrase. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. God's discipline and his protection come from the same loving hand. Watch this. The rod was meant for what? Protection. To beat off the bad thing, right? Protect the sheep. The staff was for what? Direction. They both come from the same loving hand of God. Protection and direction. So whether he's protecting us from things or he's moving us in a similar protected, right, righteous way, they both come from the loving hand of God. Both comfort because they both demonstrate the shepherd's love for us. Look at verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. A table before my enemies, for me, in the presence of my enemies. You know what that means? It means God doesn't always remove the enemies when he's providing for us. Sometimes the enemies stay. And enemies don't always have to be people. Enemies don't have to necessarily be Satan himself. Our enemies, we've talked about this, our enemies can be anxiety, grief, depression, fear, doubt, worry, want, lust. All of these things become enemies to us when they take our eyes off of the Good Shepherd. And God says, I will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemy. Even while you struggle with some of these things, I'm going to sit with you, have fellowship with you, eat with you, enjoy you, and you get to enjoy me. The shepherd sometimes prepares a feast even while danger remains. You know what that means? It means peace is found in the presence of God. Period. Not in better circumstances, in the presence of God. He says, you anoint my head with oil. Shepherds would use oil to protect sheep and to heal wounds on them. Shepherds applied the oil to protect them from insects or diseases. God anoints us with oil. It's his hand of protection. God not only feeds his people, he also heals his people. He says, my cup overflows. His goodness is so immeasurable, so abounding in kindness and faithfulness and mercy and grace that when he pours himself into us, our bodies, our minds, our hearts cannot contain the goodness of God. This is what it means when Jesus said in Luke 6:45, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Now, he used it sort of in a negative connotation to the religious leaders. He said, you whitewashed tombs. You got all this nasty in your heart. And when you talk, that's what comes out. But it also means he is so good when he pours himself in, we can't help but for it just to overflow. My cup overflows. David meant it in a very positive sense. God sees, he knows, God acts. And when we recognize that, we can't help but tell the story. His grace is abundant. When we start to recognize what God has already poured out, gratitude flows. It just flows from us. Look at verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. This is so good because the Hebrew word here for follow is more than just nose to butt, like trail horse riding, right? It is more than that. It's not follow. He's not just following in our shadow, keeping up with us. The Hebrew word here means to chase or to pursue, right? He comes after us. God's goodness actively pursues his children. This is what it means when Jesus said in John 10, I am the good shepherd. I'm not only with you, I'm not only behind you. Jesus said, he lays down his life for the sheep. Isn't that good? This is the gospel message. It's alive in this. The gospel is clearly alive in this passage. He doesn't just follow us along to make sure we're going to be okay. He actively pursues us. And so while we walk in sin, we live in sin, and we're desperate, and we don't know, and we're confused, and we have our own ideas, or we think we know more or better than he might, he follows us, chases us, pursues us until the point the Holy Spirit convicts us of our sin. We remember what Jesus Christ did on the cross, died for his sheep. And then he steps into our lives and he redeems us and brings us closer to the Father. And the evidence of his power and even the motivation for our faith is driven not just by the cross, but by his resurrection from the dead. And that's what he wants to do for us, to raise us up. Watch this. He's already made me lie down. Now he's going to raise me up. I had to lie down to realize I needed redemption to be restored. Then I get raised up and I get to live like Christ. It's mercy. The Hebrew word here is hesed. Mercy, the favor, the continual, steadfast love of God that pulls me out of what I deserve and gives me something I do not deserve. That's grace. You see this? This is more than just a nice, calming psalm, right? Most of us live like we're being chased by other things and not by God. Is that not true? Job, marriage, success, portfolios, independence, whatever it is. We're all being chased by somebody else's opinion about us or what we have or what we don't have. But when we stop to remember that it is God who pursues us actively with compassion and love, it changes everything for us. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. Imagine turning around in your life if God stopped you and said, I'm right here. I never left you. Can you picture that? Can you imagine that? It's every day of our lives that God stands with us, following us, his goodness, his mercy. He is goodness, he is mercy, and he's following us. Imagine turning around, looking over your shoulder, and there's God going, I'm with you. Keep going. Why? Because the journey is the destination. All the days of my life isn't just leading me to heaven someday in this promise of victory and forgiveness and redemption. He's doing it right now in your life. The journey is the destination. And we see this come alive throughout the psalm. Provision, safety. Wait, let me go right to left for you. Okay. Provision, safety, goodness, kindness, mercy, eternity. You see it? It all comes alive in Psalm 23 for us. That's the movement of this psalm for us. This is so good. As we close this and get ready for baptism, let me just encourage you with this. Psalm 23 is not about us as sheep. All these things that I've shared and I've said and the things that we struggle with, it's all real and we all deal with it and it's real life. But Psalm 23 isn't about us. It's not about the sheep. It's about the shepherd and his goodness and his provision and his kindness and his comfort and his safety and his love for you and me. And it is about eternity, but not just someday. That eternity is right now. And the good shepherd is leading you there, starting right here. This makes Psalm 23 feel remarkably current, doesn't it? Psalm 23 is not just an ancient, nice psalm. It's current, and it's real for you and me today. As we prepare for baptism, I want to invite you this morning. Maybe you've forgotten that you have a good shepherd. Maybe you've forgotten that he is a good shepherd. And so I just want to leave you with this question. Am I following the shepherd? Or are you following all the other things of life? Am I following the shepherd? This morning, I want to invite you to follow him. Okay, I know that this is massive distraction. I get it, me too. And this is so much joy, and we're going to celebrate. Let me pray, and then we're going to baptize. This is a great day. Father, thank you for the way you love us, the things you do for us, the way you show yourself to be faithful and true. All of it is a reflection of your character, your love over us. God, lead us in paths of righteousness. Show us mercy for your name's sake. Help us to even know that we're following you.
And that's this week's message. We hope that you are encouraged and inspired. If you would like to join our online campus and experience the service as it happens live, go follow us on Facebook or YouTube by searching The River in Panhandle, Texas. Have an amazing and blessed week.